Good morning. Let me get dressed up. Okay, as your treasurer, I'm representing the office of the treasurer. And if I look back a couple of years ago at my attitude and what I am doing now, I just think God has a great sense of humor. He's grabbed me up once more by the scruff of the neck and said, "Here, sit down and do this job for us." It's hard to believe. After learning my way around the systems, I decided that I wanted to make sure that the parish got a more regular presentation of the finances and that you would all understand kind of where we were rather than the once a year approach. And so this is one of those attempts here. I would have done it earlier, but there was a lot of confusion as to which fundraising event we were going to do, and it finally turns out that we are combining the need for everyday giving along with the need for sustaining giving. So you've had emails about this, you've had letters about this, and there are even some gatherings that have been taking place and are going to even more take place, thank the Mark and Mary, and I would recommend those. That was a wonderful evening that I was actually been to two of them now. And I think that those events alone are going to be a big contributor to the renewal and getting us all back together again. So I recommend you ask the lenders to make sure you're on a list for some of those. What I want to do is, we are in the 8th month. The end of the 8th month was August 31st. So that's 2/3 of the way through the budget. The budget for this year, 2023, was approved by last year's vestry of just over $800,000. So we should be 2/3 through the numbers of the different areas there. Oh, first I want to also let you know that there is a finance committee of several very talented and knowledgeable financial types to back me up because I'm not one of those. Ken takes care of some of the risk. Steve Heller is on that. Mark Linder is on that. Anybody else here? I don't see anybody else. Anyway, it's a good group, and they have been looking at this all through the spring. And we got a little worried because what's happened is that our income, where it should be at this point in time, $400,000 is only $342,000. So we have a shortfall of what we were budgeting. Fortunately, we are also have some of the key expense accounts are below budget. So we've saved some money in those expense areas. But during this time, the bank accounts have dropped in half from about 100,000 down to 50,000. Now, what worried us is if this trend keeps going, we're going to be getting into the reserves, and we get into the reserves, and that keeps going. Pretty soon, no reserves. Fortunately, we don't have a mortgage to pay, but you've probably been reading a lot of churches around the country are trying to deal with this problem now also. And I think we're fortunate is that we have a lot of resources to work with. So we're 1/3 of the way through at the end of August. At the bottom line, we are a net $80,000 off of our projected point. In other words, we've lost, our net revenue is minus 102. That's what it is, 102,000 in the negative, which was $80,000 more than we had projected. So that's where we are. We've been helped by a couple of things. One is a government subsidy, so to speak, one of the government COVID recovery programs. And that gave us $100,000 to start out the year with. So that's been allocated out about $8,000 a month. So we still have $32,000 of that to recognize. So that's basically it. I can spend a lot more time with anybody that wants to go over the actual financial statements. I'll be around here later. Did I mention that the grace giving is below the levels it was last year? Yeah, all right. I'm going to take off this stuff now, the props, because I came across a statement from a rector of a very well-known church in London who's doing the same thing. They're looking at this month as a time for them, or this fall as a time for them to build their resources. And he says that they're going to be asking people, members, to consider a way to just take one step more in their giving. One way is if you contribute primarily when you come to church, and you don't come to church every week, that maybe the weeks you miss, you might be able to just put something in the check or directly into the bank account through the internet source. If you're online, the online's a wonderful thing. If you can't get here, you can be online, but maybe you can just move over to the window and make a gift there for us too. The second thing is if you are giving some, see if there isn't a way you can make it one step more and just give a little more. That's where Sandy and I were. As I got into this job, I realized, oh, there's a big need here. And we really had the resources, we had the ability to do a little more. So we increased our contributions this last spring through now. If you are giving a lot, maybe you could consider take one step more and make a one-time gift, something to go to the Sustaining Grace Fund as it's being developed now to help build a situation that we just keep going on with this church, because this church is a light here in this community, and we think there is so much going on that it's going to become a bigger light as we all get back and start participating and fill these pews up. So that's my talk, and I ask that God continue to bless this parish and the people in it and their generosity. Thank you.
Amen.